Well, hello! You can say hello as well.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Hello! Oh my God, it's a camera! And
is.
we're talking to the world live.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, welcome to the Ununited Nations live stream. We've been working hard today, haven't we?
Very hard.
We're going to tell them in a minute what we've been doing. But for the moment, we're going to talk about the very beginning of the album, which starts with a song called...
Mud Huts!
No, it doesn't. It starts with a song called Beginnings.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then it goes into Mud Huts. We'll explain all that as we go along. But here we are. This is Spin the Record time.
Quick, quick.
No saints, there are no sinners, an unnamed hunger within us on this first green patch of land. When the world began, fish on lakes we crawled out from the sea. We're free, now it's down the pan. 2,000 years ago we held the key. Majestic creations inspiring greatness in nations. Senseless, relentlessly we've been building our challenges, we did rapidly fall. Yes, we're still building our mud huts over the palisades. Look at all we hold dear, and it's perfectly clear how we've grown so incredibly small. Big machines rolling, ignoring all 10,000 hungry men, condemned. Then the beast it came, silently it grew and spun its web. Not so easy to reason the genie back into the bottle. Redesigning the grand plan with its flawless perception of man, building our mud huts over the palisades to all of the The ones that once were tall are now just standing on their knees. Can't we just stop and take a breath? Breathe.
Oh, so nice, that round of applause, wasn't it?
That was very nice.
Yes.
I like that. Good song, that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Well, as you can see, I'm joined here by Danielle, and we're both wearing conflicting jackets, aren't we? Because I'm moving forward in this light blue kind of ununited nations thing, because we've been doing a rehearsal today, haven't we? Yes, we've been doing a rehearsal.
And I'm still stuck in the time machine.
Yeah.
Story of my life.
But the reason I wore this jacket today was because I said to everyone, hey, we should wear something blue for the Ununited Nations songs. So even, what we're doing. But we'll talk a bit more about that later. Who have we got here, Dan?
Right. Okay. So we've got a crowd. We've got Paul Griffin. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Paul and Nicola and family. Hope you're all good.
Yes.
Hope you had a good New Year and Christmas.
Yes, and Angel Jones, way in the States, way back in the States. Hello, Angel.
So Angel, for those that don't know, Angel runs a fan club group called Fans of the Korgis. So if you haven't joined that, join up, because she finds lots of obscure things and old Stackridge things and stuff like that. So hello, Angel, and thank you so much for doing that. And which reminds me, actually, Angel, I must send you a download of the album. So I think I've got your email somewhere, because I think we talked on email. So I will do that. And also, Mr. Merchandise, Mr. Michael Webb. Hello and Happy New Year, Michael Webb.
Hello, Mike.
Same applies to you. I have to send you a download, mate.
Yes. Been on some trains lately, Mike?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a couple of other people there.
Yeah,
isn't there?
there is. There's Colin. Oh,
Colin.
Colin's got a question for you.
Oh, Colin, fire away.
Colin wants to know why is the record going in reverse?
Well, it's a cheat. It's a cheat because we haven't actually got an Ununited Nations record yet. So I had to make it. And you know, when I was deciding which way to spin that label, which I put over the top of the Cartoon World record, by the way, I couldn't remember which way the record went round. I should have remembered which way it went round, but I couldn't remember which way it went, and so I just took pot luck. I just spun it whichever way.
That's actually very disappointing for someone who's been in the industry for so long, not remembering which way record went. Deary me. Okay, well that's good. That's good.
There's somebody else here as well. Ingo from Germany.
Hello, Ingo.
Hello, Ingo. I hope everything is good with you, and I know we've communicated a couple of times via email and stuff like that, so I know everything's going good with you. So thank you for joining us. So we've got a bit of a merry crew here, so that's all
And
very
Tim.
nice.
There's
isn't
a
it?
Tim.
Oh, Tim, is Tim here?
There's Tim. Yes.
Fantastic. Good to see you, Tim. I'm sorry, it's been such a long time since we've done one of these live streams, but it's like we couldn't really give the songs of the new album away until we kind of were close to releasing it. Otherwise, when we released it, everyone would have been bored. They'd gone, I'm fed up with hearing about this album, I'm not going to buy it now. So yeah, we had to ramp up the pressure a little bit, which is why we've waited until now. So we've got quite a lot to say, and these live streams will probably carry on for quite a protracted amount of time, because I reckon, in my calculations, that by the time we've got to the end of the first album, we won't be far off getting into the second album.
Okay.
Because that will be on pre-release, probably come about May, something like that.
Ah.
Something like.
Because I have people asking me that, so good to know.
Something like that, but we're not going to do it until it's properly finished. It was a bit like, this was a little bit of a deadline, which is quite funny, because James and I were working the night before New Year's Eve. We worked and we went through it, and then I had a message from him going, Sex on Saturday still isn't right. It's like saying, I went back in on New Year's Eve itself and retweaked some of those.
He's talking about the songs, not his life.
He's not talking about the sex on, no, the sex on
yes.
Saturday, because funny enough, it was a Saturday that we were together recording, but it wasn't anything to do with that. Nothing sordid goes on in this place. I should say all the normal things, but I think everyone has heard me say this a million times. Subscribe if you do Spotify. Put us on your playlists. Definitely subscribe to YouTube, because we actually need to get up over 1,000 people on YouTube, and we haven't yet. We're at like 866, which isn't enough. It's not enough.
Is it?
Not enough.
Not enough.
And so normally I would say smash the subscribe button, and I hit this easy button.
But it isn't easy at all.
It's not easy anymore because
Nothing's
it's
easy.
broken. It's broken, or rather, I've only got one battery and it takes two. So hopefully on the next live stream, it'll all be much easier.
See, rope me in for the first
All be
rugby
much
live stream.
easier,
That's what they think of me here in the Korgis. Just, And there's a Moro. Sorry.
Mauro from Brazil. And so this is it's actually probably not a terrible time for you, is it? Because you're probably New York time, aren't you? So what, 6 hours difference, something like that. 6 hours earlier than us. So good to hear from you, Mauro. It was good to catch up with everyone. What I've got written down here is I've got teaser about beginnings. About beginnings. So the little snippet of a song, we've got that orchestral introduction, a little snippet of the song that comes in is actually part of a bigger song. So there are two things going on there, and I think I'm actually I'm going to put you on the spot, Dan, because I'm going to stick you up the words here for both of the verses of Beginnings, and we're going to do a little live thing.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
I only know this now.
Yeah, she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know what's going on at all. Anyway, but that is
Getting hot into the corner.
Beginnings. I need on the United Nations red, don't I? Yeah. So there we are. That's not quite it. Oh yeah, that is it. That's the whole thing. So this little song started off, and I'm going to do it in a slightly different key, but it doesn't really matter. Started off as. Because it's easier to play in that key.
Yeah. You're back when we were beginners. No saints, there are no sinners. An unnamed hunger within us on this first green patch of land.
Except that there's a second verse which goes, as we go back.
Where?
There.
Oh yes!
You sung this before.
I don't do the second bit. I have.
So then it goes.
As we go back to the beginning, no losing and no winning, just thankful to be living on the last green patch of land.
Okay, so that was how the song started, and then one of us came across the bright idea of going, wouldn't it be great for the album to start like that? And that's initially what we did, with just little guitar like that with you, and then I started to think, yeah, but we could do with an overture to come on with, couldn't we?
Just a few
Etc.
more, just a few more
yeah.
instruments.
So as we were writing Beginnings, we also wrote this other chord sequence. Which, here's my theory about writing songs like this. If you write a chord sequence that never really ends, then it's going to keep going round in your mind, because it's going to go round and round because there is no end. And so I'm going to put this in the key that was actually in now, which is... So then we went down, 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 down. Gone forever.
And it's great. This could be a long stream.
And so anyone that is hearing that chord sequence also recognises it's the opening chord sequence that the orchestra plays. So they just play. and then the bass notes come in, and you start to figure out, oh, it's a funny chord sequence, it's not just a regular one. So that's it. So that little thing comes back right at the end of the Red album, without giving too much away. Those two things reappear. There's a few songs that reappear on the Red album, the second album. And more about that not on this live stream. As we go further through, we might start to give you a few little teasers of that. So there we are. Do you know what we should do?
What?
Competition.
Okay.
We should do a competition. So every one of these live streams has a competition, and they're often very tricky. Sometimes people get them like that; they go whoosh, like that, and then sometimes.
It's so stupid like me.
Oh, this one, Elaine Brokenshaw. I remember Elaine had a guess at every possible thing that she could think of, and I think the question was, the piano solo at the end of Time, the wild out-of-tune piano solo, was the idea was taken from which David Bowie song, and it's like.
So she went
through every David Bowie song except the one that it was, which of course it was Aladdin Sane. That who will love Aladdin Sane at the end. Mike Garson just goes into all of this really wild stuff, which is what we modelled it on. But that is the one. Nobody got that. Nobody got that question.
Got it.
Yeah. And so no prizes. Nil points
That's
for
a bit
that.
sad.
Nil points for that.
Wonderful.
This one I hope isn't so cryptic, but maybe we need to explain that there is a concept for Ununited Nations, and the concept for Ununited Nations is locations of the world. So essentially, it gave us a lot of scope, because you can go, if you can write a song that is based in a location of the world, then it can be on the album. They don't need to be connected anything by other than locations. And so that's the whole thing about those two globes, the blue globe and the red globe, and the lines connecting them, is they are all based on songs. So
Very good.
if you're logical about it, you could probably figure out what the answer is to this question. So I'm going to put it up on the screen. Danielle, would you like to read this? I'm going to put it up on the screen now. There we go.
Where in the world is the song Mud Huts according to the lines on the Ununited Nations album cover? Oh my God, that's a difficult one.
So
Alan.
where is it? Where is it in the world? Now, every one of these songs is situated somewhere in the world. Where is Mud Hut situated? Or where are we situated it according to the lines on the album?
So we're talking about beginnings, aren't we? If we're going to think.
No, we're
No,
not. We're
we're
talking
not?
about mud huts.
Oh, so it's not
we're
beginnings,
talking about
is it?
mud
It's-
huts.
Okay,
yeah.
it's after beginnings.
Yeah. There we
So
are.
where did we go after beginnings?
Well, don't give too much away.
No.
Don't give too much away. Anyway, first correct answer wins, but we probably won't spill the beans. We'll let you keep guessing right to the end, because it just ramps up the intensity there. So there we are. Hopefully you've got some ideas, or you get some idea of how you could possibly find out the answers.
They've all got their atlases out now.
It's all
History,
good. Yeah.
way back.
It's all
You've
good.
got some more people here, Al,
Oh, who've we got?
to say hello to. You've got Ian Walters.
Oh, hello, Ian. How are you?
He's saying, Al, do you have roughly the same, I can read, the same number of people at Korgis concerts as you have subscribers? From Ian in Heathland, Court Care Home, Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. Yeah. Do we have the same number of people at Korgis concerts? No, because our fans are split worldwide and nationwide, and of course people normally just they won't travel to every. I wish they would travel to every concert, but we don't expect them to.
No.
So it's usually quite localized. Yeah, we're not in the league of playing the O2 arenas, etc. We are more into smaller clubs and pubs and small theatres and stuff like that. But we are grateful for any more people that would like to come along, because we have shed loads of gigs. I'll tell you about the gigs later. We'll actually maybe get them up on screen or go through them or something like that. But we've got shed loads of gigs. The one gig that I would say, in fact there's two gigs I would say, is coming up quite soon. Bath Chapel Arts.
Bath Chapel Arts, and the tickets are already going.
20th of January. Yeah, there are some tickets left, but not as many
And
as you would think.
And someone I know that's going to be there, who's also here
Yeah.
just now, is Joe wants a hello, Joe.
Oh,
Bless.
fantastic.
There we are. She's going to be at Bath.
Fantastic.
Okay.
And we're doing a gig for Colin in Bridgewater. And I need to remember the date. I think it is March the 30th, but I'm actually going to get a diary out. I'm going to check it, because otherwise you'll lynch me, which is fair comment, really. No, it's the 9th of March. The 9th of March, we're in Bridgewater. So those are our next 2 gigs coming up, and then after that, we're up in Yorkshire. 2 gigs. Well,
Oh, yeah.
near Yorkshire. I've been told off about this before because Barnoldswick is not in Yorkshire.
Where is
It's
it
in
then?
Lancashire, I think.
Oh, I always get that quite mixed up.
Yeah,
Lancashire,
I
Yorkshire.
know, but I think Lancashire's more over that way, isn't it? I kind of do know the boundaries of Yorkshire quite well, because I used to live in Yorkshire. I used to live in
Did you?
Sheffield.
Did you?
Lived in
Sheffield.
Sheffield for a good few years. Yeah, and my daughter Leah, who designed, of course. In fact, she drew the globes for Ununited Nations. She drew those maps of the world. She lives in Leeds now, so
Which is in
Yorkshire,
Yorkshire.
of course, Yorkshire. I've got another daughter who lives in Scunthorpe, which is now in Lincolnshire, but it used to be in Yorkshire. You can imagine how upset they were about that. They were Yorkshiremen all their lives, and then all of a sudden they become Lincolns. No, I don't know what they are, but
Yeah, that's not good.
no,
People won't like that.
not happy.
Not
they
happy.
were not
it's,
happy.
It's like saying Barry people become Cardiff people.
So where are you from, Dan?
I'm from Barry.
Oh yes, not from Cardiff.
Barry by the sea, not from Cardiff. No.
Yeah, all good. So Sonar Beginnings. What I've got written down on my thing here is we're going to grab up the very opening of the album up on Sonar, which is our weapon of choice for recording, which I haven't opened, which is very remiss of me. I should have opened it, but I haven't. I haven't. So I'm hoping it will. Let's get rid of that, or let's minimise that. We might need words later on. Let's get rid of that one, and I'm just going to grab this up. Might take a second to load up, but then we'll then have a hunt round, and you'll see what it is that we've got on there. Which orchestral stuff? There's a load of stuff up there for beginnings, and it sounds very lovely.
It's beautiful.
There's a couple of orchestrally tracks, isn't there, on this album?
Well, it wouldn't be like you not to, really, would it? There are. What's the other ones that are orchestrated?
The main one for orchestra, because it's proper full orchestra, is Matala Moon.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Oh, beautiful. It's such a lovely album. I'm, saying it because I'm involved, but I'm saying it as a kind of objective person too. It's got very... I think the songs are quite eclectic, really.
Well, they're definitely eclectic. I think in a way we started off that way with Cartoon World, didn't we? Of not really wanting to be too ordinary, wanting to be, wanted to be a little more interesting in our choices, and certainly lyrically we've gone a little bit more interesting. I have been doing a recent little series called Off the Grid with Lyrics, because I often get people say to me, "Oh, I can't do lyrics, I'm stuck on them," and all of that sort of stuff. And funny enough, I don't get stuck on lyrics. It's one thing
No.
I don't get stuck on.
No, I do. I always get stuck.
But maybe because we have subjects that are maybe not ordinary subjects, so it's not like what's all been said before. It's like it's all a bit new. It's a bit like writing a novel about a story, really. But you can decide where that story's going to go. So yeah, all good. Sorry, this is still opening up, so we'll taking its time.
We've got Andy Swain from
Andy Swain,
Talking of
how are you,
Yorkshire.
Andy?
sunny West Yorkshire. He's saying hello.
I don't think Andy's coming down to Bath as well, isn't he? And he is from he's from Leeds.
Okay.
Or is it Bradford? They're very close to each other anyway. I can't remember whether Brian's in Leeds and Andy's in Bradford, or it's the other way round.
Hi from Devon. Oh no, that must be Mike. What about
yeah,
Welsh
that's
Pool?
Mike.
There's
Yeah.
Welsh Pool, but there's no It says Pool Mission Area. That's not a name, is it? Is your name Pool Mission? Maybe it's I don't know.
Pool. Hang on, who are you talking to
Pool
now?
Mission Area. Hi from Welsh Pool.
Oh, nice.
Who are you from Welsh Pool?
Ah.
Does Al know you? Maybe I might know you. Probably not.
Yeah.
Ian Walters says he moved to Heathland Court Care Home due to becoming about 50% visually impaired.
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry to hear that. And he heard that Joan Lewis' mother was once here. Do you mean John Lewis or Joan Lewis?
No, I think it might have been Joan Lewis.
Oh, okay, Joan Lewis. Please can the Korgis come and do a concert here?
Well, we could look at it.
Yeah,
We could look into it.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's why you were asking how many people you needed to attend. So how many people you got there?
Yeah,
And we'll need to reserve, if you're visually impaired, we'll need to reserve your seat right at the front.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There might not be the same amount of people there at the end, though. So,
There we are. Okay, sonar is finally up. If I can find my mouse. Here it is. So I'm going to stick us up on screen. We'll leave the mics on. I'll move that around a tiny bit more because I tend to disappear a little bit. Try and talk into it. Yeah. There we are. So I'm going to find this is right at the beginning here, and we are going down. I'm going to make this a little bit easier to see.
Tim Hawkins is the pool mission area person.
Ah.
Do you know Tim Hawkins? He runs the pool page.
Ah. Good on you.
Hello, Tim.
Yeah.
And everyone else is coming to Bath.
Whoa. There we are. So what we got here, this is right at the beginning. All of these purple things are strings. They're all multi-tracked. At the top we've got first violins, second violins, violas, all of that sort of stuff there. Down, blue things, flute and clarinet. Underneath that, pair of trumpets and a pair of trombones. And that's the kind of sound that we get. I am just going to hit play on this. It's something I haven't done, but I don't think it'll be... I don't think anyone will die. Here we go. This is exactly how we've begun. And of course you can see cellos are now starting to come in. Clarinet comes in doing the lower lines. Just about here and there. Flute now. Brass just about up here.
No saints, there are no sinners, an unnamed hunger within us on this first green patch of land.
And this is our sound effect. It's called Sahara. Ooh, Sahara. And that just goes through and kind of builds up all the way through it, which just gives it a little bit of a little quirky edge to it. There we are. There we are. So I'm going to stop that right there, if I can. Yeah, we stopped, and we're back. So that's all good.
Very informative. Did you like that?
So there we are. I'll tell you what. We have between us. We've got 3 songs in the Heritage chart. We've had the orchestral, Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime, and I think most people here do have that orchestra album, orchestrations, and it is absolutely stunning. The guy Mickey Simmons, who did the arrangements for it, is really amazing. Normally I would do all the orchestral arrangements, but this was an idea through a record company, and it sounded so great that we just went, hey, just go with it. And so, yeah, if you haven't got that album, have a listen to it. I think it is up on Spotify, but definitely worth having. The vinyl. Do you know what we should do? We should grab them. When the next video is on, I'm going to go and grab one of the vinyls and show it to you, because if you haven't seen it, you go, oh my God, I need to get one of them.
Very special.
And we wouldn't want to stop you.
No.
Wouldn't want to stop you.
Not at all.
The Orchestrations album had Everyone's Got to Learn Sometime, #1 in the Heritage chart for a couple of weeks, almost to Christmas #1. If Sean McGowan hadn't died, I think we would have stayed we would have
Yeah.
been Christmas number one.
It
for
was
that.
very inconsiderate of Sean to pop his clogs.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the Korgis would still be there. But there you go, you know,
Yeah.
it's the Pogues. Yeah.
You're only saying that because he can't defend himself, aren't you?
Yeah.
If he if he was still alive, he'd probably come and punch your lights out, wouldn't he?
His brother's probably watching this.
Yeah, that's right. He's on his way now. He's on his way.
Korgis.
So that was number one with that, and then Danielle and I were talking to Mike Reed, and Mike Reed said, "Do you know I've rewritten the lyrics for Danny Boy and I made it a love song because it's a traditional song, so you can do that. You don't have to ask permission. You can just go and rewrite the lyrics to any of those traditional tunes you like."
Amazing that.
And you and I were sat here, and I said, "Do you know that you recorded you recorded Danny Boy with me about 10 years ago?" And you went, "No, I didn't. I didn't.
remember.
No, I didn't."
I was convinced.
It's like, I got it up on the
with
one,
another singer.
and it was a duet. Well, it was a duet with Jamie Pugh,
Yeah.
and I played it through, and I played through Jamie's verse, and then you come and you went, "Oh my God, it is me! I did do it."
It wasn't a dream. That's nuts. 10 years ago, not remembering a vocal. That's really bad. Isn't it? God. Well, in another 10 years, I won't remember this. I won't remember being here.
So it's like, all right, we already have a working knowledge of the song. Sorry, I haven't told Jamie this, but Jamie, I nicked your strings from it. We put a different spin on it and put a jazz guitar over the top of it, and sent it through to Mike, and he went, "Oh, that's really lovely. That's really, really, really lovely. Do you fancy releasing it?" And we went, "Okay, should we do a video for it or whatever?" And Mike's video guys, Ellie and Mark, did a brilliant video for it. But we had also done a video for it as well. And this is not the one that you see on the Heritage Chart Show. This is a different one, of which Danielle floats over on a magic carpet.
Oh.
As she is prone to do. She normally arrives on a magic carpet.
Always.
Yeah.
My only mode of travel.
Yeah, it's a preferred method.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a half lotus.
Half lotus,
Half
not
lotus.
full, because you know it's dangerous. You have to have correct warm up, and you have to have
Okay.
good external hip rotation.
Right, got you. Okay, so I think we're gonna play you
Yeah.
the video.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna play the video. So this is our single that
It's in the
is
Heritage
in Heritage Chart, and
Number
it's number
31.
31 at the moment.
And thank
so
you.
I'm gonna stick it up on the screen. I'm gonna turn the mic off.
I love you so, I want you and I need you. I walk down streets where we walked hand in hand. I see the stars, the same stars that we wished upon. But now you're gone, and all alone I stand. I call your name as I lay on my pillow. I catch my breath and drown in midnight blue. I want you back, but all around are shadows. My world is cold and dark and empty without you. And if one day you change your mind and you look for me, I may be gone somewhere beyond the sun. Don't shed a tear, my spirit's there beside of you. I always
wasn't that nice?
That was absolutely fantastic. I really like that singer, whoever she is. Who is she? Do we know her? Let's get her in the band.
Get her in the band.
Get her in the band.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wearing a jacket anymore.
No, I took it off because I'm beginning to think that these lovely people think that's all I wear is corgi jacket. Like it's in everything.
I've got my Cartoon World T-shirt
Yeah,
on.
I know.
Yes, Time Machine mug.
I
Yeah.
go to bed in the corgi jacket. I wake up in the corgi jacket.
So we're going to go back to competition, I think. And I will say, nobody has actually guessed the correct answer, unless we've missed it. And I don't think we have we? Because you've been through...
Oh, somebody just has.
Oh, okay. Well, you shouldn't have said that either, because we wanted to keep them all hanging on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's crap at this.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, look. No, I haven't scrolled down. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
But anyway, they don't know who it is. So, yeah, keep guessing. I mean, it isn't really a guess. You can actually figure it out. You can figure it out. But so I'm going to stick it back up on screen in a second. So I'm just going to get rid of that one. With our competition back. And we'll just reiterate this a little more carefully, maybe. Just so you get it. Sorry, I'm back up on screen. So, where in the world is the song Mud Huts, according to the lines on the Ununited Nations album cover? And can I say that they are in chronological order? They are in order of the tracks appear in the album. So it's quite easy to follow the lines, really.
Okay.
So there's a clue. There's a clue.
I think we need an O-level in geography, really.
Yeah. And the fact that Leah drew the map in a kind of quite a Salvador Dali kind of way. Very angular. Very nice. Liked it a lot.
It's very pretty.
Yeah,
Very
nice. Very nice.
Jo Mort,
Yeah.
she says she loved the song just now and said very nice. She complimented me on my voice. Thank you, Jo. But she said the carpet made it for her.
Ah.
The magic carpet.
Now, I think somebody you know called Jo actually donated that carpet.
Did
for
she?
the video.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And Jo, if it is you, I'm so sorry we couldn't get the end fringes on.
No.
It's like I couldn't get my head around how to get the green screen to work because the camera was looking quite close in. It came out at an angle like this, and the mask I had was kind of square, and it was a bit of a nightmare. It was a deadline as well. So sorry we cut the front of your fringes off. We would have ideally loved to have had all the fringes in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next time.
Next time we use a magic carpet in a video.
Thank you, Jo.
Yeah. So that was the second song that is in the Heritage chart, and then it just came to our attention that bubbling under last week was Good Old Days of the Cold War, which of course is our current single. It was the lead single from the Ununited Nations album. A couple of people said about, should we be doing that? Good Old Days of the Cold War, making fun of Putin when all this stuff's going on in Ukraine. And I would say that actually the more extreme the dictator is, the more we should make fun of them.
I agree.
Stop them thinking of themselves as too important.
Yeah, too serious. It's got to.
It's actually from something called Putin and Trump the musical. There was all that talk about, was Putin involved in the election of Trump in America, etc. And there's quite widespread belief that there is evidence that certainly there was tampering from the Russians in the American electoral system. So it stands to reason that perhaps they do. So I know Trump had gone on record of saying, I could sort the Ukraine war out. If I get back in, I'll sort it out, and it will take me one day to do it. You know what he's going to do. He's going to go to Putin, hey, which bit of Ukraine do you want?
Yeah.
He'll just give it to you, and will you stop fighting then? And then he'll go back and go, I've made peace. That's it. I've solved the problems of the world. But it might find it a little harder to do that from prison.
What? Yes.
It's possibly where he's ended up.
Unless, well, yeah, but if he's elected president again, then he can actually pardon himself out of prison, can't he? That's the thing.
Right. Okay.
He can.
That's a good get out of jail
It
free
is, isn't it?
card.
I know.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's why he's going for it. He wants to be president.
Did you see those photos of all the boxes in his? All the boxes in his house of all the documents that should not have been in his house that were sensitive White House documents, and they were in his bathroom. They were everywhere. There were stacks of these huge boxes everywhere.
Lovely man. But anyway, about the song, and the song's a great song, isn't
The song's
it?
a great song. It is. And whether the musical will ever make the light of day, it certainly would be a little mini musical, but there are another couple of songs, so they might make the light of day at some point. They won't make the light of day on the Red album because we've already, that's all decided how many songs are going to be there. All the songs are written, and unless James comes along and does what he did this last time, we were about 4 weeks ago, he went, we need another emotive song, and so we wrote 2 songs. We ended up one song that became, it wasn't an emotive song because it ended up being called Sticky Note for the End of the World. But then we wrote You Haunt Me, which was a very nice song.
Beautiful.
Lovely
Beautiful song.
Yeah.
Beautiful song.
Sticky Note for the End of the World is also a really good song. Can't wait to play you those new ones, you know, even though we've been mixing this Blue album for about the last 5 weeks.
They keep tweaking it. Tweak.
But we do think it's pretty much perfect now. And do you know, the other great thing is I've been doing vinyl mixes. And I said to James, we need to do the vinyl mixes. And he went, oh, you do them. It's like, it's obviously, I can't be arsed mixing anymore. I've spent so long doing these.
Not surprised.
But essentially it isn't such a tall order because you take the CD mix that you've got and you just take some of the compression off, relax them, let them breathe a little bit more. And change the EQ for vinyl. Bass has to be sung to mono or it'll jump out the groove, or you'll have to record it really quietly, and not too much really high top end. So just rebalancing the tone of it, and then look at, okay, now we've taken the compression off, what's that done to the balances? So it's little tweaks here and there. But I've got to say, the vinyl mixes sound amazing. They sound really, really, really good.
But do they go around the right way?
When you actually get the album, yes, it will come out in the sleeve going around the right way.
Yeah, because otherwise they'd have to get new turntables.
I know, we haven't reverse printed.
Yeah, I have to go to Australia to play the album because it go around the other way. You know, like the water in a plug hole. Because apparently in Australia it goes right. Because is this right or is this a myth?
Apparently it is correct, and apparently if you're on the equator, it goes straight down. It doesn't twist at all.
So
it's because of the magnetic poles of the Earth or something like that.
Something like that. See?
I reckon.
Oh yeah. Geography, history, politics, you get it all.
Yeah.
In a Korgi live stream.
Yeah, that's right. So Mud Huts has some quite interesting lyrics. And I have gone and done a little blog on it, this is one of these off the grid with lyrics. I think I shared it to the Korgis page, but it was originally on the Al Steel music page, where it just talks about the ideas of how we came up with the lyrics for it, what it's all about, and what each of the lines is about. So some of it's quite easy to follow, but maybe verse 2 is not quite as easy to follow. Where you've got big machines, they came. Now I think we're really talking about the Industrial Revolution, and then leading all the way on to roboticized machines, where of course you now have whole cart plants where there's hardly any people in there, it's all machines doing it. And essentially the myth that we were sold, I think this was in the 80s or something like that, was that when the machines came in, there would be just the same amount of money around, so everyone could get paid the same amount of money, but you would have more leisure time.
Yeah.
In fact, Donald Fagen wrote about it in More Leisure for People Everywhere. He wrote on the Nightfly album how great it would be. What a beautiful world this would be. And he had a certain degree of cynicism in that. In that as well, the idea is the machines would come in, there'd be the same amount of money, and we'd have more time for leisure to enjoy ourselves. Of course, we know that's not the case. The fact is, everyone has had to find different jobs and had to reinvent themselves, etc., while the people who own the big machines have made shed loads of money while laying off all the people. Well done. Well
it's a
done.
good principle, and it's really led to no
But
good.
it should not be put in the hands of people who want to earn a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, indeed.
So yeah, the big machines came in and condemning 10,000 hungry men. And then the second bit of that verse is quite interesting, because it then says, and then the beast it came, silently it grew and spun its web. Well, there's the clue right there. We're talking about the internet, which again was another brilliant idea. The hopeful idea was that we could get to the truth. You could talk directly. You could just look into what people were doing. And of course now the internet is run by big businesses as well. So we don't have that, that thing. And then the final little bridge leading into the second chorus, where it talks about something. I can't remember what the line is now. I remember what the end line is, but it's the one before that. Sorry, I'm just going to grab it up here so I don't do the wrong thing here. Yes, not so easy to reason the genie back into the bottle with his flawless perception of man. Okay, so we've moved on to AI here. So there's a big move to say, hey, halt AI, halt the release of it, because we don't know what we're doing with it and we have no idea where it's going to go. And now it's out. And now we can't put the genie back into the bottle. I remember reading a science fiction story by Isaac Asimov about two robots talking to each other in a dark room over a period of 1,000 years or something like that, where they reasoned with each other that they were more humans than human were, therefore they should dispense with them. And that's the kind of reasoning that AI can bring, because we're not regulating it. Again, it's in the hands of big business as well. There's far too much money to be made of it for them to hold fire on it. So headed for big trouble, I reckon.
They had a big conference about it, didn't they, recently? I mean, what did they do?
They had a big conference about it where virtually everyone voted to actually stop work on it. But none of the business people were there, and there was no legislation in it. So, unless you're going to voluntarily get a business guy to say, I'm going to cease development on this that I've spent millions in, I put millions into it, I'm going to cease now because, it's for the common good. He's going to go, stuff the common good, I want to make money. I've invested all this money in it and there's no legislation to stop me. So there we are. Yeah. So there we are. That's Mud Huts. And then the premise of the chorus really is that ancient civilizations, had an eloquence about what they built. And don't get me wrong, there were some nice buildings that we built, and then there's a load of rubbish. There's these 70s tower blocks. If you look at any car park, there's hardly any nice-looking car parks, is there?
No.
They're all just concrete mess.
Yes.
And so I think we could do a lot better. And so there we are, building our mud huts over their palaces. That's what it's all about. What have we got on our cryptic list now? I could go through Sonar and play you a little bit of stuff on there, but probably not necessary. I tell you what, there's one thing that I would show you live on the piano, and this is where it says 10,000 hungry men condemned.
Oh yeah.
And this is something I've used a couple of times. And this is how you get the condemned sound.
Is this your death?
Condemned.
That's taken years of practice. Don't try that at home.
The way my fingers are on there is it's just in exactly the right position. I couldn't, I can repeat that. Look, see?
God, that's brilliant.
Isn't it?
That's
Brilliant. So that's how we get the sound, the condemned sound. I had to teach that to John Baker today. So this is how you do condemned.
But yeah, he was doing it at the wrong time.
He marvelled at my technique.
But we're being condemned at the wrong places.
We call it the fist and forearm technique. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Gigs. Should we do just a rundown of gigs? I mean, maybe the best thing to do here is actually just grab the website up. Of course, they are all on not just on the website, but they're also on Facebook. I think Facebook is pretty much up to date, but easiest to just go to thekorgis.com.
Rick Loverin says, never mind AI, it is Al we need to worry about. I totally agree. And they're all laughing, you see? Can you imagine Al as an AI? Oh my God. There's no stopping him now. He was AI. I mean, come on. The world will be ruled.
Okay, I'm going to get the gigs up on the screen. Here we are. Live stream links are always up here as well. If you ever want the most current live stream, that will be that red thing. Go to live stream. The minute that I have set a new one up, that one will appear there. But also, obviously, we put them up on Facebook as well. So gigs we've got here. I'm going to put my glasses on. You might be able to read them from there, but I can't. Obviously, January the 20th, we are in Chapel Arts, Bath. March the 9th, we've already mentioned Colin's gig at Bridgewater. March the 22nd, Barnoldswick, which we reckon is in Lancashire, or is it Cumberland? No, it's going to be
Lancashire. I don't know.
Lancashire.
Barnoldswick, where are you? Are you in...
Someone's going to tell us, aren't they?
Someone will now.
And then the day after, March the 23rd, we're still up there. We are definitely in Yorkshire this time, near Goole at Howdenshire Live Arts. So that's quite close. And then April the 5th, we go down south, down near Brighton, just above Brighton, Lewis. Lovely place, I believe. That's the rescheduled gig. We were due to go there last year, but it was rescheduled.
Yeah, Lewis is really nice.
Then later on in April, certainly a couple of dates in Scotland, Edinburgh and Glasgow. The Mash House in Edinburgh and the Hook and Pint in Glasgow. So that's good. Then May we're off because few people are on holiday. June we are in the Palace in Ibstock, which is near Leicester. Okay. Just in Leicestershire, but it's not too far from Birmingham. And I've had a lot of people from Birmingham going, when are you going to do a Birmingham gig? Really? Really? You keep missing us out. And it's not intentional.
Do they say really, or do they go, really? Really? Do they do that?
They're going to come round. So it's not only Shane McGowan's brother that's going to come round and beat you up. You're going to have a busload of people coming down from Birmingham. You're taking the mick out of our accent. See, notice I didn't do a Birmingham accent there. They're not coming for me. They're coming for you.
I can take it. Bring it on. You can make the fun out of my Welsh accent. Lovely. In a minute, Al, can I just interrupt you? Because Angel is asking about the gigs. Is the Bath gig streamed? Unfortunately, he isn't, is it? Are any of the gigs streamed?
No, there was a gig streamed a little while back, the one that we did at Chelmsford Social Club.
Yes, it was.
That was streamed. I don't know whether it's still up. I think it was only available for about 4 days afterwards or something like that.
Yeah. Yes. Barnoldswick was Yorkshire now. It is the wrong side of the Pennines in Lancashire, right? Barnoldswick was Yorkshire, now it is the wrong side of the Pennines in Lancashire. I can read, it's just been a very long day. Right,
yeah. Okay. Well, Andy would know, because he's from up there, so he does know.
Andy's
sorry, Angel, that would have been a great birthday present for you to live stream it. But it's quite a palaver to live stream. It takes an awful lot of cameras and a lot of the tech and all that sort of stuff. To do it, the best we can do is probably we'll video some songs from it and we'll post them up as soon as we can. Where else? More gigs. A cappella, because both you and the Korgis have a gig in a cappella within a week of each other.
Yes.
So we're on June the 6th.
Yeah, but I'm there in May the 23rd.
So you're there the week before us.
Yeah. So that'll be nice. That'll be lovely. So
yeah.
That'll be lovely. It's a very nice venue.
Yeah.
In Cardiff.
Good. I think James and I guested last time on
You
your
did.
video last time, didn't we?
So we're considering you again.
Right.
But we've got a few other options to consider.
Okay, better options.
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
Spandau Ballet that are up in the running. Depeche Mode wanted to kind of come along, so I said, well, we'll think about it. You know, there's a few. Ed Sheeran, actually.
Ed Sheeran. Oh,
He wanted to support us. So,
bugger off, Ed.
so, but I think, you know, we'll consider you. We'll get
Okay.
back to you on that.
Okay,
The DMB will get back to him.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We'll hold the date in the diary just in
Just
case
in
you
case.
ask who. So June the 6th. And then there won't be this break. We were keeping some of the summer free because there was a promise of a lot of festivals, abroad festivals, etc., etc., etc. And somewhere in there is actually a date in France, but I haven't really put it up there because it's like, I should put it up though, shouldn't I?
You should put it up because there might be some.
Because there are French people who might want to, you know.
Yeah, or there
Might
could
wanna
be
come
people on holiday there at the time.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
So October, a couple more gigs up up north rather. Thursday, the 3rd of October, we're in Selby, back to Selby Town Hall. It was a lovely gig. We did it. It was a few years ago before COVID. Fantastic venue. Staff are amazing there. So Selby's a great place, not far from you, Andy and Brian, as well. And then we are on our way up to Scotland. So it says here there's no date on the 4th, but there will be a date on the 4th. There'll be a Scottish date on the 4th. And then on the 5th, we're in Kinross, backstage at the Green. I think a lot of you probably know that venue, backstage at the Green. We had it booked in yonks and yonks ago, and we had to cancel it for some reason. I think James wasn't well or something like that. I had to cancel a few gigs. So back there. And so that is our dates. There's quite a few of them, and there's more coming in all the time, you know. But for the moment, we just want to concentrate on these first few. Chapel Arts in Bath, Bridgewater, the 2 Yorkshire dates. Mm-hmm. And then we'll look after that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Good. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to come back to me now. There we go. Ta-da! We're back.
We're back.
Hooray!
Oh yes. Good. Oh, I didn't realise that was on.
Yeah, we were on
High
screen.
tech.
It's just so people could look at the dates.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so we are pretty good. I think it might be time for the competition winner. Now, Daniel, you seem a little bit hazy. Do we have a winner of the competition?
I think we do. Oh, by the way, Ingo says not only French people would consider a gig.
No,
in
I
France.
know. Actually, Ingo is talking about coming across to
Wow.
Condet in France, which is in northern France.
Okay, yeah, I think there's one person that has said the winning.
Okay, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to put the competition back up on screen just to remind people of what the question was. And then maybe we need to find the album cover or something like that. Probably
Yeah,
find
'cause-
it on the title sequence. And then you'll see where our train of thought was. So I'm going to put it back up on the screen. We are... Oh, that's not very good, is it? Oh, yeah. Where in the world is the song Mud Huts, according to the lines on the Ununited Nations album cover? Well, the beginning of the album starts at beginnings. And there's, just to give you an idea of where it begins, there's a big green blob in the middle of Africa somewhere. And we reckon that's where the human race originated from, was the first people who kind of stood up and were like, the human race originated from Africa. And then if you follow that line up, you'll see it goes up into the Med. And so, did we find our winner?
Yes, our winner is, after half a dozen tries.
Ah, okay. It's the splattergun
Paul.
approach.
Yeah,
Paul G.
Paul Griffin, yes. And he's guessed it eventually as being, am I allowed to say?
Yeah.
Italy!
Italy!
The
What have the
Romans.
Romans ever done for us? That's what I want to know. What have the Romans ever done for us? Yes, it is Italy. You'll see that that line goes up there. Now, the chorus of the song was written in Corfu. It was written on Corfu while I was wandering around Greek remains.
Looking at Matala Moons.
But yeah, because of Matala because we already had a song from Greece, the Mud Huts, it could equally have applied to the Romans who built fantastic structures. It could really have applied to the Egyptians as well. But we settled on the Romans Because, you know, they get a bum deal of what have the Romans ever done for us other than the irrigation, other than the underfloor heating, other than, you know, nice suits.
Yes. Lovely spa baths.
So yes, it was Rome. And I'll tell you what, we didn't actually tell them what the prize was, did we? We didn't tell them what the prize was. That was
Poor
a bit,
people entering a
crap, wasn't
competition,
it?
they don't even know what they're going to win. That could be a cool topic.
So I think, Paul, what we're going to do is I am going to give you all the tracks that we consider are quite finished from the Red album. So yeah, that's a bit of a scoop for you. There's obviously one song that you know because Oppenheimer is from the Red album, but yeah, we're not going to fob you off of that. Although I might give you a good copy of it. But there's a few other songs. There's definitely a song called Red Flag Day that we wrote with Joe Matera, which is sounding pretty damn nice. There's a few other things that are really finished as well, but then there's a couple that aren't. So anyway, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to send you off those, and you, before anyone else in the world, other than the people in the band, can hear the way the Red album is shaping up, and you'll see it. Yeah, that'll be good.
Or you could have a 2-week holiday in Rome.
Oh, he'd want the Red album.
You
song.
want the
He
Red
would,
album.
He would. So yeah, that's it. That's what I'm going to say. So, Paul, I can either send you a CD of that, or I know you're adept at burning CDs yourself. So just let me know which way you want me to do that, and I'll make it happen. Make it so, as Captain Picard would say. So there we are. I think, Dan, is there anything else that we need to say? Is there anyone we haven't answered? Anyone been asking questions that?
I don't think so. I think we've kind of covered it. Lots of people laughing. They're laughing at everything.
Laughing. Yeah, well, stands to reason, doesn't it?
Yeah, some nice person suggested Wales. Why not? Oh gosh, no. This,
Actually, we didn't have a Welsh song in here, did we? Yeah. There are a couple of songs. There are a couple of songs from Britain. The opening track from the Red album is something called End of an Era Feeling, and that is situated in Liverpool at the end of the 60s, just as the Beatles are splitting up. So that's a British song, at least. There was something I put as Bath. Can't remember what it was.
I've messed this MacBook up.
What have you done?
I've done something. This is the story of my life.
Have you just made it too big?
I've just made it too big. What do I do?
Well, I just click on that for a start. Oh, that didn't help, did it? Remove pin message. No. Don't want to do any of it, do you?
Sorry, folks.
What you've done. Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, I think we've got most of it, you know.
We've got most of it.
Yeah, we got most of it.
That is most of it. Oh, yeah. I think Paul is very happy. That's what he's saying. That's amazing. Right, there we are. That's great. You're welcome, Paul.
So fabulous. So I think we're going to take a leave off you. I haven't got a finished video for Mud Huts, but we have got a finished video for Beginnings. And this is how it will begin. In fact, one of the things that Danielle was doing here just before we did this live stream was she was doing green screen for Mud Huts. So we now have the whole band who are performing the chorus for Mud Huts, of which I now need to do some very creative things with them in the background, which I'm partway through. So I was hoping I could have had the Mud Huts video finished now, but not to be. However, it will be finished by the time we do the Bath gig, and you will see it on the screens.
Oh, yes. Good.
Well, you should actually tell them what songs we're rehearsing today, wouldn't we? Should we?
Yes.
Shall we?
Yes, the new ones. Well, you're going to hear them in Bath, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
And 3 of the new songs from the album, Mud Huts.
Beginnings first.
Oh, Beginnings. Keep forgetting about that bit, which is not so good because I've got to sing it. Where's Dad? You're on. Beginnings, Mud Huts, and then One Way Ticket.
Yeah, One Way Ticket.
That's a groovy little number.
It is groovy.
Then
Good Old Days.
Good Old Days of the Cold War.
Yeah, and that's sounding really good as well.
Yeah, they all sound great.
In fact, Danielle, you've added another instrument to your bow. for the good old days of the Cold War, haven't you? You're popping across to my keyboard and you're playing the theremin.
The theremin.
The
What's
theremin
that, you
sound.
ask? I didn't know otherwise. Yeah, the theremin. Very complicated. It means I've got to jump across the stage,
Yeah.
trip over all the cables, pull a few cables out of guitars and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be good.
And I think there's another piece of another thing I'm doing is I think I'm going to introduce my guitar synth. I've got a guitar synth sitting down here, and on One Way Ticket I actually played all the sax solo on the guitar synth. So I'm going to try and bring that out onto the gig and see if I can tame it. It was quite hard, but we'll see how that goes. What could possibly go wrong?
No.
Anyway, we're going to play you the beginnings and then we're going to go into our little outro sequence. But thank you all so much for joining us. And here we are. We will see you next week. Yes. I'm going to stick this back up on there.
Thank you,
I'm
everyone.
going to stick that back up on there. And here's the beginnings. Bye.
Bye.
Back when we were beginners, no saints, there are no sinners, an unnamed hunger within us on this first green patch of land.
I enjoyed that. You were talking about the Red Album. I don't know any other songs. I was going, I don't know any of them.
Yeah, well, you know a lot of them.
I don't, do I?
Coffee in New York.
Oh, that's Red, yes.
Yeah. End of an era feeling.
No,
It's the end of an era feeling.
don't know that. What was the other one you were talking about? Oh, I don't know that.
Red Flag Day.
Yeah, I don't know that.
It's about forest fires in Australia.
Ah.
We moved here from the suburbs. We like to hear the wind around us. Melodies of the cobwebs from my mind.
No, never heard it.
Good one, that. Born Under a Full Moon, the South American thing, which of course you've sung on.
Yeah, because I was going to say, which means I'm not singing on a lot of the songs on the Red Album then, am I?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Coffee in New York is a duet between you and John.
Oh, okay.
At the
shall see you Thursday, next Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday it is. Thursday it is.
Fabulous.
Thanks, my love.
No problem.
Oh God, I was alright. I'm Korgis fans there, so they talk.
No, they love you.
Say anything negative, run it back to me.
No. But